Hang on. And also, Harry, forget a point you wanted to bring up.
Yeah, when you were talking about how actually Crazy approaches this draft, you said that they had to ramp up the tempo, right? I can say I agree with that, but when you have a weaker team against a stronger team, you want as a weaker team to play something that you know. EG is a tier 1 team. They can play almost any draft. They can adapt in any situation. And Crazy, I don't think that they're necessarily on that level. So if they try to do that, they are probably going to lose. That's probably what happened last game. So not necessarily that they have to have a high tempo draft. They just need to have something that they're good on, and that's what T Governor was saying. Skeeter on a brawler or someone who can fight early. And
it's just got to be specialized, right? If you look at their 5 heroes in that last game, it kind of feels like an AP pup. You've got Witch Doctor, Mirana, Underlord, PL, Kunkka. Like, there's no natural timing. There's no spike. It's just like, oh, well, these heroes are good. We got a bunch of stuns. But you don't look at it and think, all right, at what timing do we win the game? And if you speak to any of the players in the top 10 Dota team, a big discussion is not about, it's how are we winning the game and when, right? When are we going to collapse on the mid tower? When are we going to look to Roche? At what point can we think about going high ground? What's our win condition? I don't see one in their previous draft.
And I feel like tier 1 teams, even in those kind of drafts, they sometimes see the win condition and how to play it. That's what we saw from the Nigma Secret draft when we were like, okay, they actually have some crazy heroes running around fighting, but they have an idea of when their timings are and how to play it. And here, Crazy, I think they were a bit lost with their draft.
I could give you that. It is tough, though, when you're playing against a squad like
Shadow
EG.
Demon.
Once again, I like it because it's a...
Technically, I was right, just saying.
You also want to deny the SD Mirana, right? And it also forces Crazy into a position where they go for Mirana Centaur anyway. But Shadow Demon is excellent against these two heroes. And you almost feel trapped here as Crazy because you don't want to give one of them away to EG. And it's just all of a sudden a really powerful opener.
Yeah, it's actually an interesting, the fact that you first pick a Shadow Demon, and like you said, you're now Crazy feel forced into this. And unless they already knew this was coming and they planned a draft around it, it's kind of concerning that maybe EG already control the draft. The fact that they now get to boss score pick as well.
Do you think Mirana's overvalued by these NA teams? Because the other regions don't value him nearly this high.
We've got the Mirana lover and then the Mirana hater. I personally don't think, I think the hero is good, but it's not like first phase, let's get it, oh, it's available, go. I think it's, you slot it into, for example here, your first pick, casual SD, then you go for the Mirana, right? I don't like the idea that some teams are so keen to get it in their draft so early on.
And already now another potential Radiance pickup for our tour, the Wraith King second selection. You have a Shadow Demon once again to create illusions. It's just pretty standard. And in theory, you should have a nice lane up top against the Centaur Mirana. At the very least, you'll be able to trade.
Yeah, the thing is that Shadow Demon is very good against these slow, fat strength heroes because he's stacking them up and he's doing a lot of damage to them. Plus, he doesn't have to really hit the Centaur to do the damage, so the retaliate stacks aren't really going to be there. So I actually like it quite a lot against the Centaur, and I'm not really sure why Crazy went with that pick. Would you say that's a Kezu hero?
Yeah, it's one of, the thing about Kezu though, this might be kind of, he plays a lot of heroes. I don't know if you ever tune into his beautiful stream. He happily will play any hero. As a player, when we coached him during Chaos, he's happy to play most conventional offlaners. The issue is, he plays okay on these, and he specializes in 4 to 5, right? So it's like, he will happily play it. He's a team player. So we're not going to see him shine on the hero, but he's going to have a decent enough performance.
And it's no coincidence, I think, that his best performance in his career was that run he had on Team Secret, top 6, was it, at TI?
Because he's enabling these big names.
Exactly. And Puppy knows how to get the best out of his players, but he hasn't found the same success behind it. I like this Warlock pick. This is a deceptive Shadow Demon counter. It's also very good against the Wraith King just because of the upheaval. And what is it?
I'm vibing like Earth Spirit Darkseer right now for EG. This is what I'm just feeling. You know, they've run over them. You've got this aggression. It's just, I think it's too easy for them to execute. You match the team fight, nice aura buyer for Bulba. Warlock's all about that team fight, constant pressure.
It does look solid.
Yeah, that's.
And I said I wanted to see an Earth Spirit from Crit, and
I would love that really as well. Yeah, it's a really nice combo with the Shadow Demon. You would just easily set up a roll stun, no problem. I would love also maybe an Ember Spirit for Ryoya. One of the spirits.
Yeah. I don't mind And like the thing is, though, if they go Darkseer, it enables so many mid heroes. You think about the Ember Spirit with Shell, so easy. Leshrac to some degree as well. That it's not a save, but it's an aura bias / surge to enable him. Like it's so easy to play mid when you have surge, and that's why I think Darkseer is quite an underrated offlaner right now. Where sure it gives you that free lane against certain carries, but in that kind of 15-minute mark, that aggression that you can bring to a team is insane. And I think we might be seeing it kind of raise the ranks, and especially with Spirit Breaker, for example, he's rising in prominence. I wouldn't want to see it here, maybe. Actually, no, it kind of does the same deal, but I think I'd rather see the crit Spirit.
Yeah, I really want to see him playing it on a position 4, because I haven't been able to make it work on a position 4 lately. I've seen him only make it work on mid in pubs, so I really would like to see a really good Earth Spirit and how
I will say, I'm surprised we don't see it off lane. I feel like Earth Spirit off lane, or really just in a core position, can have the same sort of effect on a game as, say, a Pangolier. You know, tons of magic damage output in a team fight. Lots of lockdown, just really annoying to deal with.
I think the main issue there is the fact that it kind of ties your 4 into being the lane, because normally, like, if you think of weaker off lanes, you have your 4 pull the wave around, which is fine. It would enable the Earth Spirit, but as soon as your 4 rotates into mid, your off lane Earth Spirit, for example, would just be stuck there. And here's the Earth Spirit. Like,
nice.
The main reason why you're seeing the Earth Spirit here is because any int 4 or ranged 4 gets demolished by Warlock.
Yep.
Like you can't, like for example, let's say you want to go Shaman. You can't, because you have this Golem. You don't want to have double range support against a Warlock.
Well, it's also just the weakness of the Warlock Mirana is if they get gone on. You want something with high reach. And the cool thing about the Earth Spirit is you already have double setup. Something I've spoken with my brother about at length. He's a huge Earth Spirit player. You need at least 2 lanes you can kill. That's what activates this hero. You already have 1 guaranteed, and you have the luxury now of selecting if you want to still go for the Darkseer, you can. You could go for something that applies a little more pressure. And again, any aggressive mid laner is going to be great here. A Storm, an Ember. The idea is to just get on top of this Warlock Mirana, kill them at the onset of a fight. And they have no real answer to this because you have so much catch.
And also, not only that you need to be able to kill 2 lanes, but you need maybe a support to complement you who has damage. And the Shadow Demon actually is one of those. So even if he rotates to the centaur lane, stun, slow, and a few stacks of the Shadow Poison, the centaur will actually fall.
So so the Skeeter and Anti-Mage, he has carried some teams on him before, but this is mainly a block pick.
For the
not a block pick, but they're trying to predict the Darkseer coming in. So they're like, okay, if you want to go Darkseer because you're Earth Spirit, we're going to cover it already.
But you just don't go Darkseer if you don't want to.
But I think they still go Darkseer. Like you just play, you skip the waves, you show Anti-Mage farms. Okay, they go Kunkka instead.
It's just not necessary. Why draft yourself into a hole where you know Skeeter will get a free game? Just make sure you can apply pressure. Sure. I hate the Anti-Mage here. It's a very bad pick against the Shadow Demon. If you ever get disrupted, all of a sudden you're playing against 2 Anti-Mages. And in theory, sure, you have a nice matchup against the Wraith King, but Artur can just itemize for like a faster Abyssal Blade, you know, maybe Armlet build this game, and you hit a mid-game tempo. Where's Crazy's teamfight going to come in unless they have the dream 4-man Fatal Bonds into Golem?
They don't really have anything. I think EG, all they need is any enabling hero right now to be able to run at them. So even though you give this AM a free lane, I still think the draft of Crazy is so underwhelming compared to EG that with AM with free farm, we've seen it already, some AMs with a free game, they still don't do anything.
You know what the problem is? If he has a free game and you are with the Darkseer, your push is actually not that good, right? Because Mirana kills your siege creep, the Wraith King pushes okay-ish, but it's really not that great. And then if he has a good game, he can split push, and that can be a problem for him. That's why I don't like
It's so hard, though, that this game for this AM to actually ever pop off, because once he is split pushing and he's on that other side of the map, he looks back across to see his Warlock, his Mirana, Centaur trying to defend a tower. Where's your tower defense?
Yeah, and
like, where's the wave clear?
This Mirana pick just feels naked in a way. What are you supposed to be able to get done? There's no setup.
They just reacted, right?
Yeah, it's just a Mirana that's going to roam around, try and kill couriers, snipe some range creeps. But there's
now you've got Slot of
Yeah, that's a beautiful
big counter to the AM.
I should have seen that one coming. They had banned the LC, so you would have maybe liked to cleanse. It's nice against the Warlock in lane, but at the same time, Slardar is just a 1-to-1 hard counter to the Anti-Mage. Tons of lockdown, the minus armor, the bash in the laning phase. This is a great pick. And now look at these lanes. How good is Crit's game now? Any lane he goes to, he's got stuns to find kills.
Yeah, and a lot of counters to the Kunkka in mid actually can die, like a Huskar can die, Monkey King can die, something along those lines. It's really hard to pick for Crazy. They need to get something that can actually survive the Earth Spirit ganks, so I don't know.
I'd love a Death Prophet, but it's banned.
Maybe Queen of Pain?
This is probably a Godly Timbersaw game, but I believe it's also banned. Yeah.
If you go Quap, it's like, where's...
What do you do?
All of your heroes are so squishy, everybody just feeds.
Maybe
you need... Maybe a DK? I don't even know.
I was going to say, I'm just a big Pugna fan, but it's still so bad here. It's so bad. I don't see any pick here. Void Spirit. Okay. It still doesn't sit nicely.
I think they're just going to, like Crazy, if you think about their effective HP pool, right? Get the game to 20 minutes. Yeah. How much damage are you going to have to do to kill EG's heroes? They have 3 strength cores and an Earth Spirit.
Yeah, you don't have enough.
With a save, of which you don't really have any on Crazy. And if there's no Golem, there's no team fight.
At best, you have Centaur with a pipe. Mirana might have some Yules. Like, even when Anti-Mage gets to Battle Fury +1, I don't see there being enough items to even save how loose this draft looks.
How does Crazy win, though? Because obviously, we all think EG will. But... find me a glimmer of hope.
So the laning phase has to go super well. I think you need to try and get this anti-mage to that Battle Fury timing as early as possible. And then you need to make moves into the Wraith King. As soon as he gets to Battle Fury, Manta, maybe even an early Basher, you play off that timing, you jump the Wraith King non-stop. Of course, anti-mage v Wraith King is anti-mage favored. You need to try and remove his game. If you can do that, then EG might struggle to defend towers because they equally don't have a lot of wave clear outside of...
All right, 5 seconds, Harry.
In my opinion, Anti-Mage is not going to have a good game, so the Void Spirit needs to have a solid performance. Mirana takes over mid, Kunkka is weak, and then the Void Spirit is actually creating space for the Anti-Mage.
Thank you very much for that, guys. Let's get some truly expert opinions, if we can. Suns fan and Cinderin, you with me?
Hello.
Yes.
How are you doing, Kyle? Stop muting yourself, Cinderin, please. Did you have a refreshing sleep, my friend? Kyle,
who are you talking
to you,
Kyle?
By the way.
Oh, to me? No, unfortunately. But, well,
I'm so sorry.
I'm hoping I get another nap in as you guys are casting this. The sweet, soothing sounds of Cinderin's voice are always a
That is our best to make it as boring as possible for you, Kyle. Which is probably
you don't even have to,
good and insightful. Then you can't really follow it. So, yeah, so what the panel said about this game, Shannon, I think it was pretty clear that the panel thinks EG has the stronger draft in this game. Now, I think Crazy has the weaker draft.
Wow, really? That's incredible insight. Thank you, Cinderin. And with that, we'll see you guys next week. Appreciate the insight, Cinderin. It's been real great having you on.
Yep. Okay.
When I look at this draft, Cinderin, when I look at this draft, I see an AM. I mean, the panel kind of went over this, but they picked AM into Shadow Demon. I mean, this feels like almost like a pub, like a low, like obviously these are really good players. This feels like one of my pubs where like you see Wraith King and you're like, I want to pick Anti-Mage. I need to counter him.
Right.
But you have a Shadow Demon.
It's a little bit one-to-one countering instead of strategy countering, right? It's like you're countering on the micro level instead of on the macro level in the draft. Now, I would say this Anti-Mage versus Shadow Demon matchup is not as bad as it used to be. Historically, it was really bad because you would just get disrupted. But now you can actually counterplay it with Counterspell. If you see Shadow Demon in range of you and you predict the play, you have an option. So there's at least something here. There's outplay potential that you didn't used to have. But it's unreliable and it's not like great to handle. I'm looking more at some macro problems here for Crazy. They have some really big cooldowns in the Warlock Golem and in Stampede, and when these are down, I just feel like their lineup doesn't really pack any sort of punch. Like Anti-Mage needs time. Mirana to me is not. It's an enabler or a follow-up, right? It's like it works well in tandems or in threes, but it doesn't do that much on its own. You look at EG's lineup, they work insanely well in pairs, and they have the team fight. Like they pointed out, Crit can gank any lane. They have tons of stuns, tons of damage. Good. They have decent wave clear with Kunkka and Wraith King. Everything is just there for them. So I think the challenge for Crazy in this game is get Anti-Mage a good enough game that while he's farming, your other 4 heroes have to find very good fights with their cooldowns. And any failed cooldowns will lose you an objective, right? You're going to lose a tower or a Roche every time, I think.
It looks like KheZu is actually going to be going against this tri-lane to start in the bottom lane. That means Anti-Mage is top, but this is going to force out some TPs, of course. Fly now going to be accompanying RTZ. What do you think of this matchup in the top lane first, the AM tri lane for now?
I think it's a...
Look at it from a perspective, we all agree that the draft is, in theory, weaker for Crazy, but does this laning stage setup help them?
I think it's a decent start in the sense that they feel like if they get this anti-mage against Slardar lane, they will be in trouble with the rotations of crit. So this way you kind of protect your anti-mage by doubling down. I'm not the biggest fan of tri-laning very long in this patch, or in the previous patch for that matter, but the Mirana is kind of like a pseudo tri-laner. She can rotate into the jungle and arrow a big creep, as we saw just then, and that frees up to get experience. So I think this is a pretty decent creative solution. Question is what it costs Kezu. He's playing 1 on 2, and actually crit just gets level 2 and rotates. I love seeing this. I think this is one of the best ways of dealing with enemy tri-lanes, is you keep your 2-1-2 until the position 4 is level 2, and then he makes the first move. And there's no leap skilled on Moonmeander. He's toast.
Yes, he is delicious toast with jam and whatever else you like to put on it, depending on your options. Cinderin, what do you like your toast with? Quick answer. You can't think about it.
Ham and cheese.
Something comes to
ham and cheese, Shannon. Nice classic ham and cheese toast.
No. Wait, what? Is that?
You just mean a flat piece of toast? Just butter?
Yes. Okay, butter. I was going to say that's very convoluted for just something you eat right away when you wake up, Cinderin. Ham and
when I wake up,
toast.
I don't eat anything. I try to survive.
That's a good thing. Thank you, Cinder, for joining us again for this cast.
Absolutely.
By the way, we're going to be seeing a Void Spirit versus Kunkka again, but the roles have been reversed, Cinder. We'll see if this goes any differently. As Ryoya, would you say he won the laning stage, or was it more about his team just doing well in general?
I think the lane was a draw last game, and the movements of EG and the teamwork was just better, so it made his hero look better than Bryle's. This time around, Bryle is it's got a decent advantage on the Void Spirit for now, but yeah, there wasn't a clear lane winner in the last game by any means, I would say. So overall, Crazy are probably relatively happy with the first 3 minutes, even though they died once. The lanes are... Nobody's having a bad time.
Well, we're going to see the disruption onto the AM arrow. Not going to connect for Moon Meander, but he is here for moral support, if nothing else. But a courier was taken out, and it was actually AM's courier.
He did get his items, though, I think. I think so.
Let's just assume for the best, Cinderin.
Okay.
I think that's the important thing, is Bryle taking heavy damage in the mid lane. But for AM, do you leave... I don't even know what the regular build is these days for AM. How many skill points do you put in Mana Break normally without a Shadow Demon?
1 to 2.
Okay, so in this game, I assume he's going to keep it on 1 for the laning stage.
Yeah, you could have argued for not skilling at all. There's the rotation mid from crit that the panel was talking about. Is always a threat when you're playing with a hero like Kunkka, and they land that kill on Bryle. Very nice rotation. Yeah, I think you go 1-4 question mark in this game.
What does that mean?
I'm not sure how many points in counterspell he'll take before Mana Break. Usually against Wraith King, if you imagined in isolation you were playing this lane, you would love to get 2 in Mana Break, maybe even 3 for the lane. But you have to respect the Shadow Demon's outplay potential, and you have to respect the overall, just overwhelming magic damage the Dire lineup has, right? The points in counterspell are actually really good value in this game. So maybe you play it safe and go like 1-4-4 even is a possibility, or maybe 2-4-4. In the past, we've seen Antimi just bypass Mana Break entirely.
Yeah,
Shadow Demon.
Exactly. I was going to bring that up as a potential option, but then he obviously skilled it at very early level.
I wouldn't have minded seeing that, because I don't feel like Crazy have any like actual play potential up here anyway. Like, it's a Warlock plus Mirana. How are you ever getting a kill in this lane against Shadow Demon? You arrow somebody, they just save him, and that's the end of your play. So you could have taken a more safe approach. Counterspell
5-minute bounties.
There it is.
Indeed. Fly ends up disrupting himself as a result.
Nicely.
Well, it's technically a disruption from AM, I think is the better way, right? Or how do you look at it? Do you look at it as
I mean, AM gets control of the illusions, right? So it's his disruption.
Okay. It's all about perspective, Cinderin. It's the important thing to understand. Well, AM not too far behind in the levels versus the RTZ Wraith King, so we've been seeing a lot of these Ring of Tarask like you talked about. Of course, it was buffed, I believe. Let's see, 3.75 HP regen to 4.5. so pretty strong.
And 100 gold less.
Are you surprised that like the buckler and headdress and Ring of Tarask were not nerfed in the latest version?
In the A patch?
7.25A? Yeah.
Yeah, I think they kind of should have been. I'm trying to remember exactly. There was nothing changed to items, right? No, nothing at all. Just hero changes. Yeah, I think
just Bounty Hunter basically and Ursa.
Yeah, for the most part, just those two. There could have been a little bit of a tap, but not the case.
Well, mid lane relatively even. If anything, Void Spirit is winning by a bit despite dying, which is a little bit surprising to me.
But the big lane is bottom. Kezo is stomping Bulba actually in this lane.
He's hoof stomping the crap out of him.
800
top
gold
lane, we're going to see a Stampede being used to full effect. And Arteezy will die. Not level 6. Even if he was, I don't think he skills that there.
Probably not.
Especially against an AM. I mean, it is only level 1 mana brick. I don't know how realistic that is to actually drain his mana. But
he's been left alone. I think Shadow Demon has been spending a little bit of time moving around warding, and Crit was playing between bottom and mid, maybe looking for a play here. So Arteezy was kind of left alone and probably thought he was fine and got caught off guard by the Stampede level up, right? It came pretty quickly in this game. Kezo with the great laning start against Bulba, putting it to use globally. So very nicely done. And, well, both us and the panel, we were skeptical about Crazy, but this is the kind of start you want to find in this game. You want to get off to a good laning stage when maybe the cohesion is a little bit lacking, so that you can compensate with the correct itemization. And so far, so good in all 3 lanes, really. They're looking great right now. So
pretty solid start. And is there any real difference for an AM if he goes for battle? I mean, obviously he's going to go for Battle Fury, but the buildup is a lot different now, much more digestible, some would say. You can actually maybe even fight a little bit more, although with AM that's still kind of iffy. Would you say it's a... Oh, we're going to have to hold that thought. Is Kezu getting initiated on in the bot lane? It's a 3v1. Here comes the boat. And it will connect, and that'll be an easy kill. It takes a while, but they find it eventually.
Yeah.
But back to the AM build, which has never changed throughout the build.
So you're asking if he should try to fight with the softer build-up?
No, I'm just asking if the build has made any difference for AM specifically.
I would say yes, just because I think the way you put it is pretty elegant, right? It's more digestible. You get these smaller pieces, and because they're smaller, they're easier to get. It's less punishing if you die on the way to it, or it's more likely that you have gotten your component before you die compared to Demon Edge, right? When you buy the components on the way, it ramps up your farming speed, so it's just better in every single way. Getting a cheaper broadsword will ramp up your farm faster than waiting another minute to finish a Demon Edge. So it just farms up on the way.
Stampede used as well. Ryoyo in a lot of trouble. He will tick down to Bryle. So Bryle off to a great start. He did die, but he was winning the lane anyway, like we talked about. Now he's going to go on top of Crit. Very low on mana. Only 2 charges on the stick, but reinforcements have arrived. Bulba, see if we can get this off in time. Oh. Nope. Of course, that is an instant cast, so it's not like that's a misplay. You have to time that, I think. Is that possible, actually?
He has to turn his hero to cast Astral Step. I don't know if he was facing the right way.
No, not Astral Step.
Dissimulate also has a cast point. It's it's a short cast point. You can't cast it during Avalanche, for example.
Oh, okay.
I think it's like 0.2 or something.
I mean, it's definitely faster than Astral Step.
Oh, that is a very dead
AY, take a boat to the face, and down he goes. So Ryoyo getting back in the game in other means.
Yep. Damn, Arteezy's game is slow compared to
this
Skeeter
is really interesting. Like, Skeeter is second in net worth right now as an AM. That's something you don't really see. Typically, he's just very... You have to play him almost a bit defensively because you get crushed in lane, but that just hasn't been the case this game at all.
Yeah. Their choice of laning placements of heroes has definitely paid off so far with this aggro tri-lane. Has been a very good
doing a nice job of sidestepping here. Gets off... Now, not sure that's going to be enough. Oh, arrow does not hit, though. So Bulba wasting a lot of time on Crazy's side. And Bulba, of course, going to tip. Surprised he has a Dota Plus. Knowing how Bulba spends his money, I am actually shocked that he has Dota Plus. EG definitely pays for him. There's no way. This man has never bought a meal for himself in his life. And I know from firsthand experience. This tier 1 tower taken out in the bot lane. Bulba It's going to be initiated on again. Gets a nice stomp off. Moonmeander, no arrow again. And Bulba comes out on... Is there another tip incoming for Bulba? You got to use them wisely, my friend.
He has the smaller version of Dota Plus, so he only has one tip.
Wouldn't be surprised. He got a special edition from Valve. He begged Valve for a very minimal version
of Dota Plus. Oh, I think kill. That is a
Dota Plus is in beta, Cinderin.
The whole game.
Was that AM?
Yep, it was his hammer. So,
right, Ryoya gets the X. Torrent doesn't fake it out. Will connect, but no real damage done here. I have a trivia question for you that I've already asked, but I want to see how good your memory is. But we're going to wait till there's no action, Cinderin. Okay, now that there's no action, I think. Yes. So, and I've asked you this before, I know, but again, I don't know how good your memory is. When AM was the only carry, basically, I mean, Spectre was the other one, in the beginnings of Dota 2, what two heroes did they implement to counter AM in the following patch?
Oh, you asked me this like a week ago, and I wasn't listening, so I already forgot.
It wasn't a week. It was like 2 months ago. Come on.
Yeah, maybe. One of them was Bloodseeker.
Okay. Why would I be bringing it up in this game if it was just Bloodseeker? Looks like Ryle
the
gets
other one
initiated
Kunka?
on X into boat. And here comes Bulba's Crush. And
The other
yes,
one was Kunka, Shannon.
Very good.
I know, it was Kunka.
Good job. Of course, the heroes have changed a decent amount since then. But yeah, it's a cool little trivia. I like that kind of stuff. Of course, they didn't really help because AM was still God tier after that. Because Bloodseeker was atrocious back then. Oh my goodness. Way worse than he is now. Kezu working towards a pipe. Looking pretty good, though, overall. Third in net worth overall.
Yep.
So not too shabby, especially considering the performance last game on the Underlord.
Yeah, the game plan is still coming along nicely.
Radiance.
I'm looking at... okay.
Chaotic offering onto Ryoya. Looks like this is going to be more than enough to be taken out. So 1-for-1 across the board, though, as Moonmeander dies in another lane. Fly, is he going to continue to be pressured here by the Golem, just beating the absolute crap out of him? Looks like that's definitely going to be the case as Brile finishes him off with a pulse. Double kill for him. He does not have his ult to get away if he needs to. Arteezy actually showed up to a fight instead of continuing to farm. I've never seen this before in my entire life before the 15-minute mark. Well, he will live to see another day, though, because his ult is still up.
Aware.
Kezu,
skilled stun yet.
Attempting to run. Are you serious?
He showed up, he spawned his skeletons, and he started running at them because he has a 0-4-4 build with Talon, right? So
I mean,
surely he's aware. He's trying to defend his tower, and that's a good play. It's just, it's funny to see because you're not used to seeing this. Like every Wraith King ever almost will skill Wraith Fire Blast at least level 1 in the lane, right? But if you're playing a passive lane and you're just going to farm jungle, this is technically the more efficient build. It's just in situations like this, 1 point in stun could have probably been really nice, but he's going for the maximum greed build right now to try to keep up the pace and try to stay.
A little bit slow there. Moonmeander. Oh, he's going to get bashed as Bulba is super fast. Will drop eventually, and there's the tip on top of Bulba and the return tip. So Bulba spending them like nothing else. I've never seen such spending from my boy. But going back, we're going to see initiation from Crit onto Brile. This will be a really big kill if they end up getting it, but he's super tanky. I mean, he has Urn right now, going for the Spirit Vessel. Applies the Urn to Crit. He's going to sidestep the Aether Remnant.
Yep.
What were we talking about before that, by the way? That was an interesting conversation.
The Wraith King no stun build?
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense because they also buffed Vampiric Aura to give him more lifesteal. So,
yeah,
it makes sense for farming purposes. I've never personally seen it before, but it's hilarious when he shows up to lane without it. It's Moonmeander. He spotted out, no leaps. He's dead.
Oh, was he trying? He was maybe trying to cover the leap exit, maybe not realizing he didn't have any, or he was trying to give it towards you. It just looked funny. He had him, he stunned him, and then he just started running back and forth instead of anything.
AUI taking the brunt of the damage here. Will not fall yet. Stampede keeping him in... No, he actually goes down to the Shadow
Demonic
Demon.
Purge.
Indeed. So 2 for nothing across the board. Not sure if EG actually
tower.
wants to continue, though.
Yeah, this is the challenge that a lot of AM lineups face, is you're 15 minutes in, the enemy team starts coming together, ramping up the tempo. They have strong fighters and strong stuns and catch, and AM is still farming. This is when the team needs to play a lot tighter with the other 4. You need to try to make your own moves, you need to try to defend towers, and maybe grab some smokes, because you're outnumbered in the game right now. Antimage does not want to join you for pretty much anything, except if it's really safe. And EG are taking full advantage of that. Very aware, of course, with the master of not fighting on Antimage, Arteezy himself.
Doesn't have Stampede to work with. Double Edge not doing a ton. Do they actually want to continue here with Bryle jumping at the Astro Step? He's out of charges, though. Boba pretty low. And the last remaining spell for Fly keeps his Bulba coach alive. But Royoya might not be so lucky. Actually runs into essentially the entire enemy team and will die as a result. So instead of Bulba going down, it is their mid laner. As I believe Arteezy now has Radiance. And they're going to be able to take out the Earth Spirit as well.
And I like this from Skitter. It's like if you're free to farm, if you at least farm aggressively on the other side of the map, that's high skill AIMs will do this all the time. They'll push it to the limit of where to farm. But if you're farming on the enemy side of the map where your team can connect with you, you can lend a hand while still not being at much risk. It's always going to be your choice if you want to get involved or not when it comes around your area. As Wraith King in mid is in, well, who's actually in trouble here? Stampede will be okay.
Well, they did take out one reincarnation. I mean, it's 120 seconds, so if they fight again, this could definitely be worth it. But they took heavy, heavy damage for that. X marks the spot will be avoided. Bryle gets out to safety. He's pretty low on mana, so I'm not sure if they actually want to fight. AOI also does not have Chaotic Offering. Will be chased down by Bulba, and it looks like that's going to be a very, very easy kill. Kezu, in the meantime, getting X'd into the Purge, into the boat. They're just using everything on my boy Kezu now. He's pretty tanky, but Bulba jumps in and ends up getting the kill. Fly in the meantime, taking the Mana Void to the face. So it's a 2 for 2 overall, as Arteezy died just before that as well. So it ended up being worth it, going in pretty heavy in that mid lane. But they're going to continue to fight, surprisingly enough. Ryoya, no boat, of course, just use it. Bryle getting silenced, getting bashed. Looks like the triple kill will go to Bulba.
Bulba with another setup for Rampage.
Will it come?
It will not. Yeah, Arteezy sacrificed his own life to get the mid tier 1 tower. He knew he was dead. He just went super hard commit to get that. I don't know if that is worth it right now in this game to lose your carry's life like that to get the tower. I can't tell you. I think in the last patch it was a bit more of an obvious read whether you would want to do that or not. But yeah, it's very important for map control, right? You're playing against a split pushing AM. You want to open up the map so you can try to push in lanes further and get more time to catch him across the map. Ideally, you get the Slardar Blink Dagger, and then I think you look to smoke Slardar with Earth Spirit plus Kunkka or Shadow Demon while showing presence in some lanes so AM feels relatively safe, and then you try to catch him on his aggressive farming pattern. It's the biggest kill on the map for them right now. Just 1 or 2 kills on AM, and this game is back to completely even. His lead isn't even that.
And we're going to see Stampede, mid lane, Bulba.
Oh,
he's going to take a Chaotic Offering. He's actually going to connect on the fly as well. Bryle, looks like they're going to focus their efforts on the support, but that was a Chaotic Offering.
Yeah, I don't know about that. They used Chaotic Offering and Stampede. This is a power play for EG right now. In 30 seconds, they have basically a 5-on-4 if you add it all up, roughly. And Moonmeander stabbed.
Well, he has one more leap. Oh, that was perfect timing, though. And yeah, going to be an easy kill, as the tier 2 tower will likely fall as a result of that.
Yep. Now, Skitter is still well ahead right now in the anti-mage, but considering that you saw 10 minutes ago Crazy had the top 3 net worths, there's definitely been some shuffling here. It's pretty natural in an AM game. He will take away farm from his allies, basically. He will farm so aggressively that some of the farm they usually get is not available anymore, and they have to accept getting inferior jungle farm, or they have to even make moves so AM can farm, and therefore, of course, both Wraith King and Kunkka are now overtaking some of the cores they were behind before. Arteezy will bully Kezu away, but nothing much more out of that one.
Spirit
and actually,
Vessel,
Bulba is going BKB before dagger. Oh, kick into stun. Oh, sex jump disrupted.
Well, if they can get any time now.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that is unfortunate. But Bryle, it might still be dead anyway. Gets the Astro Step off. He has some support in Kezu, but the X brings him back into the river. and into Death's arms. We said
Classic
Bulba's going
miss
for
3
a
spells and
BKB.
kill him anyway play.
I mean, that's the ultimate power play.
And there you go,
Mental
Roche, right? This is a case in point of what we talked about earlier. They know there's no golem, so you have this moment where you kill the enemy mid player. If he doesn't have buyback, this fight is almost impossible to take. If Crazy try for this, it's going to cost them even more than if they give it away. Like if they run in and try to contest this, you're fighting essentially 3 versus 5 more or less, and the enemy will have superior vision. They're going to scan it out now. It's too late. Arteezy gets stages, instant smoke, indeed. More aggression, faster plays. You love to see it. This is really good stuff. Now the creme de la creme play here is finding AM as part of this smoke. That is like the dream minute for EG right now.
They're on their way,
Bulba is
but like you said, no blink on Bulba, so this will be a little bit more difficult than usual.
I think AM is backing off, which is not the case. Skitter actually pinging them out here. He has a really good map read right now on enemy movements, pinging where he thinks they are, and he's absolutely right. Bulba is going to break here. And actually, Bulba saw him, I think.
That's a long blink, though.
Skitter is not farming right now, however. So
true.
It's not the end of the world. If you don't find AM, but he's not farming for like 30 seconds to a full minute, you're generally pretty happy.
AUI taking a lot of damage. See if he can juke the Radiance. He's going to TP in the trees. Oh, he dies! No way. Oh, the linger. The Cranberries would be so proud right now as he dies in Fountain. Very, very sad indeed.
Oh,
what do you think of the Shadow Blade, by the way, on Arteezy?
I think it's really good. He has a natural amplification from Slardar, so he can buy less like severe damage items and then focus more on hard countering key opposition. So building against the Silver Edge allows them to kill Anti-Mage a lot easier, obviously breaking the passive component of Counterspell, but it's also just his ability to catch, right? You just get way more options for your lineup to play around here, and it's also good against the Void Spirit. We're focusing a lot on AM, but it's a secondary hero that is elusive and difficult to get.
Meander has 2 leaps. I don't even think he wasted here.
No.
There's no way you're getting out of that. That was a nice catch there from Fly, no pun intended. That is Bryle. He's going to get a stun off, but he sees triple TPs from EG.
There's the Shadow Blade usage.
The Shadow Blade, indeed. I believe he's toggling his Radiance as well, so he's not known
might
to the
get
enemy.
Him here.
AUI does have Chaotic Offering, but there's no other reinforcements. I'm not sure if you even want to waste it here. Stampede, not enough to save Bryle's life.
See you later.
Unfortunate for him. But the thing I love about EG's lineup right now, the way they're itemizing, they're super tanky. Like typically you have a Kunkka go double bracer, halberd into like Radiance, but because you have Radiance on Wraith King, you can just go straight into the BKB. And the fact that Slardar, Bulba went BKB first means you're going to have a hard time getting killed. Of course, Blink lacking a bit of initiation, perhaps, but they haven't had an issue so far.
You're rendering Warlock borderline useless. I mean, it's never useless, but if you have multiple heroes that can remove Fatal Bonds, you don't only remove them from yourself, but you remove the chaining to allies, right? So his damage output will be so stifled when all these BKBs go off, just limiting the impact of that spell. It's super good against Mirana and Centaur, clearly. And you're even playing against the Void Spirit that is going for the Aghanims that we've talked about. And BKB, one of the hard counters. This is a big possible kill. Manta available.
Yeah, he does Blink Manta. Down. His Blink range is absurd, by the way, with that talent. Like, holy crap. That is insane.
It's a really good talent.
Ends up
he
going
went for the straight
well.
down line, and Crit was gambling the diagonal, so didn't find him. TP from Slardar. Missed the arrow. Way too early.
Very close. Very close. I mean, that's probably the hardest one to time, right? It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's hard to time on the outposts.
Especially when it's stacked on top of each other. Kezu does not have Stampede for another 8 seconds.
Oh, he's actually dead.
Mirana ult, and yeah, he's mega dead. Amplify, or Corrosive Haze. It's not called Amplify Damage anymore, although it does amplify damage. Don't know if you know that, Cinderin.
Yeah.
Corrosive Haze. Good skill, some would say.
Oh, is AM gonna... They're gonna find each other here, Ryoya. Oh, he tried to... There's a bit of mind games there with faking out the X, but there's no available connection from his team, so can't get the AM anyway. I don't know. We've talked about how much. We talked about it today. This resonant pulse agonim on Ryle. Oh, he's in trouble actually.
Oh, he's going for it. I didn't even notice. Hell yeah! Can't wait for this. He's gonna get silenced. Boat. Not really gonna connect.
Didn't have mana, I think. But yeah, you're going this into multiple BKBs, and this is where the item is kind of wearing off. So he's unfortunately gonna miss the timing in this game. He's getting it too late. Skitter's gonna get involved.
Crit with absolutely no mana to speak of. Skitter has his ultimate available to finish him off if he really wants to, but we'll save it. It is level 3. Boba pops the BKB and is just running away right after the fact because Ryo has absolutely no mana. There's a chaotic offering. Looks like Boba will be the sacrifice. Well, that's actually might be getting away here. Pops the wand, is super fast in the river. And Skitter will not be able to find him. Ryoya pops his BKB in the meantime. And this is a marathon to the base, apparently. We're going to see another fight potentially break out. Arteezy finding Moon Meander at the very least. He's been finding him pretty consistently, as it will be a trade for the Shadow Demon. So a 2-for-1 across the board. And now a buyback from Crit. See if he actually can get back into this play or not. Arteezy still has that. I mean, we didn't talk about Silver Edge and its changes, by the way. Reduces regen and heals by 50% as part of that debuff now. So pretty cool, especially against certain heroes. Tanky heroes especially.
Not too big of a deal in this game, I would say, but
I mean,
against other
Bristleback
heroes,
got even more wrecked. With
Bristleback and Timbersaw, these kind of heroes, it's obviously super good against. Yeah, I think EG played a little bit too disconnected there. They were forced to use Slardar and Kunkka BKBs because their map split was just very off. Both Arteezy as well as I think it was Fly were not even close to being able to connect, and maybe underestimating the movement possibilities from Crazy as AUI is going to die again.
Filth. Absolute filth.
And Arteezy's level 20, and you can see the change in mindset. He's like, my ulti will get off no matter what now.
Oh.
So I'm
jumping in is Skeeter with that basher, ends up canceling that TP. Absolutely no mana, but of course he has his level 20 talent for the no reincarnation cost, but he is completely surrounded. And there you're seeing the Aghanims come into work with that Resonant Pulse. That's a double silence. He's getting pretty low, but there's the save from Fly and the counter initiation with that boat. One is dead. Incoming. Oh, the Xbox spot actually keeps him alive a little bit longer, but Wraith King finally dies. But was it worth it? We'll see if EG can turn this around after the fact, as KheZu on the run has the Lotus Orb enabled. It is a 2-for-1 AM and Void Spirit dead. KheZu to follow, so Arteezy sacrifices himself for the betterment of his team. Great turnaround from EG.
Yeah, that's level 20 right there. If he's level 19, he's just dead in the first life, but manages to get off the ulti. Of course, it's a given now, and EG, they do connect. It took them quite a while to get there. They were very far away, and Arteezy probably felt maybe he didn't feel safe. Clearly, right? He tried to TP out before he even got ganked, so he knew it was coming. But the call from EG there to rotate and try to help is actually really difficult to make. When you're that far away on the map, usually you're just like, all right, he died, he got caught. But they make the read that they can make it there and get a great fight out of that. So that, to me, that was kind of the play of the game, actually, team-wise, that they get there.
Oh, Bulba, AUI, Glimmer Cape, Juke. Oh, he's going to get chased now, and something tells me that he's dead. Yeah. That is correct. He is dead. Bulba now finally has his Blink Dagger incoming. So a little bit later than he would have hoped, but still having a relatively good game overall.
Moon Meander is dead too.
Yeah, there's the old tried and true combo. Torrent into Disruption. Moon Meander gets at least a creep kill before he goes.
You love to see that min-maxing.
Yeah, very important. This is such a cool build from Arteezy. He's going to be going for BKB now.
Yeah.
Are you surprised at all that he is not finishing the Abyssal to be able to just lock down the AM further?
Lotus Orb. Lotus Orb again.
You're going to see the double Corrosive Haze, double Wraith Fire Blast as well, but not the double Disruption. Not this time around. Stampede is there. There's a Chaotic Offering as counter initiation. Ryoya is here though, with that boat available, so the Chaotic Offering really used to very little effect, as KheZu will likely fall with that last right click from Ryoya. Bulba very low, pops the BKB and just runs to safety. So EG gets a free kill and a tier 2 tower.
If I'm surprised to not see Abyssal, I don't know. I think both builds have their merits. I'm not sure it's an easy choice here for Arteezy to go for this. The thing with the Basher, when you have the Silver Edge, you know you have that setup to go in and get 1 hit, stun, and 2 more attacks. So reliably, you should be able to hit a stun most of the time from the Skull Basher. But if he didn't have Silver Edge, I think he would go, like, he would prioritize the Abyssal higher than he is. But now that he has a vehicle to get him in, it's probably fine. And with the BKB, he knows he can buy so much time for his team, right? Like, you saw how long it took them to kill him a second time without it. Now with it, it's going to be almost impossible. There's the silence.
Yeah, the silence from Resonant Pulse. He's going to be able to get out of dodge, at least actually going to go back into the river and take out poor little Fly on that Shadow Demon. Now Arteezy, absolutely no mana, but again, level 20 talent, he'll be back. He's going to get stunned right off the bat, though, from the Resonant Pulse. The Skeeter, not going to be able to get out of dodge, as that boat will perfectly connect with the X marks the spot, as the damage will continue. AM is going to jump onto Crit, trying to do as much damage as possible before he gets off that Mana Void. Not a whole lot of damage, though, because of that beautiful wand usage, but does find the kill nonetheless. Buyback onto the Void Spirit. We'll be back in the fray very shortly. Remember, Arteezy's ult is back up in 13 seconds, so they have to kill him now if they're going to go for it. Jumping in, beautiful damage from Baral, getting the double silence, triple silence, in fact. He's going to continue the pressure as Rio absolutely out of mana. Gets Spirit Vesseled as well, and now Arteezy's ultimate is back up, gets the back onto AM, and down AM goes. Bryle will have to get the hell out of dodge, as this might be a free Roshan.
Oh, that is so painful to see for Skitter. Holy shit, he bash and crit on one swing. And I think he actually needed it. He needed either that attack to bash and crit, or to get bash on the first hit and crit on the second, or AM lives there. That's some
pretty sure that was
RNG on that attack. My
he was saving
Lord.
the crits in there. Come on.
Oh god, that when you pull off a play like that, I just feel like nothing can stop you in the game, right? Like that's just God is on your side.
That could contribute to overconfidence, though. You know, a little diving.
Skitter has no buyback though, so I don't even know if overconfidence is possible right now. You can kind of almost go as far as you want.
Possible.
You could even dive the fountain, Shannon, because the fountain isn't strong enough in your opponent.
Yeah, the fountain has been buffed to 300 damage. I can't believe it. It's unbelievable how much damage that can do if you dive the fountain. You can definitely not camp the fountain anymore, Cinder. And I don't know if we talked about the fountain enough today, but holy geez, 300 damage. Oh, well, Arteezy can take out the tier 3 tower. Absolutely no problem. 20 seconds left for AM. This looks to be potentially a free Rax as a result of the no buyback. Bryle does have all his spells up, but yeah, it's gonna be a free melee. EG will probably back up now.
Yep.
Shadow Blade now on Ryoya. This build really doesn't provide much damage for Ryoya. That's kind of the issue. I mean, it gives him catch against the AM, allows you to cast X marks the spot before the spell shield comes out.
That's kind of the beauty of playing with Zara, though, right? Like, both Wraith King and Kunkka don't have to buy insane damage items, because as long as the fight is long enough and the enemy runs out of dispels, Corrosive Haze does the damage. It basically gives each of his cores an extra damage item for free, or even more. So...
very true indeed. And we're getting close to the 25 mark for Arteezy. I mean, pretty much everybody goes for the Reincarnation Wraithfire Blast, but because of the buffs, I was wondering this, because of the buffs to Vampiric Aura for Wraith King himself, do you get that 25% Vampiric Aura?
I think the Aura is really good, especially in this game, right?
Yep. You got 3 melees.
He's got some awesome friendly melee heroes who benefit as well, but his benefit too is just insanely strong. I think you take the Aura in this game.
I would love to see
Pretty sure about that. Oh, Courier's giving away the position of the Dire team. Smoke around from Crazy. Smoke from EG.
No, they're going to wrap around. It's a ring around the rosy. Well played from both teams. Yeah, kind of awkward for Crazy because you can't go up the high ground from the other side. It's much more risky. Arteezy, he's just going to bulldoze down this tier 3 tower. Level 25 is there for the AM, by the way. He goes for the minus 50-second mana void cooldown, which I believe is, what, 20 seconds? Yeah.
Yep.
He gets disrupted. Here comes the counter initiation, though. The silence onto Kunkka, but the boat connects. Buyback is here for AM, and he will use it immediately. Fly taking a lot of damage in the meantime, but the silence onto the Void Spirit. Looks like he'll be able to dodge that out, but the Chaotic offering to follow. Kezu. Double edge. Nice control overall as Mana Void comes out. Double kill for Ryoya though. Buyback immediately onto both the Earth Spirit and the Warlock. As KheZu drops, in addition, does have buyback himself, but no Stampede for another 60 seconds. And they'll have to defend this 5v4 for now. Actually, I thought he had buyback. Did he just spend his money? Well, either way, Void Spirit just dies right in his base. KheZu does have buyback now. We'll use it. But this looks to be the beginning of the end for game 2, most likely, as AUI takes a tumble and EG with the numbers advantage, 5v3.
Oh, roll. Not connecting. He actually has Yules on cooldown here. But KheZu with the Blink Dagger less build on Centaur can't get the catch. And yeah, this more than likely should just either be game or megas, whatever EG want to try to push their advantage for here. RTZ's going for the megas. He's already in the top. And he did take the Vampiric Aura, by the way.
Hell yeah. Love to see it.
Opens up bottom but now Skitter's out of mana.
Yeah, he's trying to save this melee racks, but maybe a bit ambitious. But I mean, you don't really have any other choice at this point, honestly. So understandable. And he is dead. They know that's a dieback, so GG's come out. So game 2 going to EG. Was a really good start for Crazy.
Yeah,
but
they did well.
The lineup ended up hurting them more than it helped. I mean, AM did get off to a good start, Cinder, which we weren't expecting.
Yeah,
so
they're